everyone, we're going to be learning about single variable statistics in this unit. It's one of my favorite units. It's one that you guys will think is a little bit easier because it's probably things that you're more familiar with. So let's just start right in. We're going to start with dot plots. Now you've probably been doing dot plots since kindergarten, and so this will probably seem like something that you've done before. So if I'm going to take this data, which is talking about videos and how many times they've been viewed on YouTube, I would take the number of views, 27, and I'm going to find 27 on my dot plot. It's counting by ones, and I'm just going to put a dot. Then I would go to 51. Now I know that 51 is a little bit off here, but I think that all of you could figure out that, hey, it's right there. Then I will just keep going through and putting my dots. So there's 50. Here is 41, here is 46, and let's see, 42, 39, 41. Oh, look, there's two of them. So notice how I stacked them on top. So this was the first 41, this is the second 41. Okay, then I have, oh, look, I have another 46, so I'm going to stack it on top. Then I have 44 and 37. So the nice thing about how this data is set up is I can easily look at it and I can see things. For instance, one thing I can see is, oh, the number of views here, 41, and the number of views here, 46, that is the one that is most often. We'll learn about this name. It's called the mode in a few videos, but those are the ones that are the highest number. They occurred more than once. Let's try another one. This dot plot is talking about the amount of money that some of these videos or movies back in the olden days earned when they went to the box office. So let's start with Toy Story 4. First, when I look down here, I notice that my graph is counting by tens. So 30, I'm going to go 10, 20, 30. There it is. Now I'm going to erase those dots. I was just kind of giving you an idea of how I'm doing this. On the next one, A Bug's Life, 163. Well, I'm going to come over to 150, and then I'm going to go 160, and then I'm going to go a little bit more, okay, because it's counting by tens. Okay, then I have 290, which would be right here. 399 is, man, it's almost 400. 261, so 250, 261 is about right there. 244, so that's about right there. 206, about right there. 224, so let's see, 10, 24, right there. 293, so 50, 60, 70, 80, 93, it's close to that other one. 237, so 10, 20, 37 is probably about right there. 356, about right there, and then sad little but good dinosaur down at 119. Okay, so I've got all my data there. So my question now is, what's the matter with this data? I mean, if I look at that data, does my dot plot help me out at all? No, I just got a whole bunch of data. It's all, one of each number. It really doesn't do me any good to see that dot plot there. It's not telling me which movie, what was the highest earning range or anything. So what we're going to talk about today, more in depth, is how to create a histogram, because a histogram would tell me more information in that case. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same data that I just had, and I'm going to combine it into intervals of 50. So I'm going to look for movies that are between 0 and 49 million. Well, the only one I have is Toy Story. Now, I like to go up to here, but you can also look right here on the dot plot. Okay, so there is one movie, and so I'm going to go right here and make that little box there. Notice that I went all the way from the beginning to the end, because this is like a number line down here at the bottom, and these are the little marks that divide it up. I have to cover the entire number line, not just like when you were in elementary school and you made those little long skinny things. We have to cover the whole thing. Okay, so the next one is going to be between 50 and 99 million, and I don't see any there. So now I'm going to go between 100 and 149. And so the only one I have there is 119. So There I go. Now between 150 and 199. So I've got one right there, and that is the only one again. So I have one. Once again, you can also look on your dot plot to see this. Okay, where does it get iffy is where my dots are a little bit big and some of them maybe overlap, like this one right here. I can tell it's overlapping, and that's why I'm going up to the data at the top, but it's a good reference point. So if I had to guess right here, I would say there's going to be 4. Okay, so let's just go make sure at the top between 200 and 249. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is exactly what I thought it was going to be. Okay, so we're going to go up to 4 and go over. Notice how all of these are touching. Okay, now I'm going to go to 250 to 299, and this is where, if I look here, remember that's kind of, it's questionable. I'm not sure, so I'm going to go up to the data at the top. Okay, so 250 to 299. Well, there is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is 3 dots there. So I have that. Between 300 and 349, if I had to guess, I'm going to guess there is 0. And when I look up at the top, I say, yep, that's true. And then the last one, it looks like there are 2 there. And when I come up here, there's 1, 2. So that is correct also. So there we go. Okay, so that kind of gives me a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. Hey, where are the movies making the most money, at least out of these movies? Well, there are more movies making between $200 and $249 million in the box office. Okay, could I change that up? Yeah, I can look at intervals of 100 and do the same thing. On this one, I'm going to be dividing it up right here. Okay, now, once again, some of those are a little bit questionable, so I do like to go up to the top to get my data. On this one, on the first one, I can tell there's only 1. Now, notice on the sides, though, it's counting by 2. So to do 1, I would go right there. I did go all the way over to this line right here. Okay, between 100 and 199, it looks like there's going to be 2. Let's just make sure. So there, I crossed off that other one. So there are, 2 of them. So I'm going to go up to 2. And I went all the way over to the tick mark. Okay, next is between 200 and 299. If I had to guess, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But remember, there was 2 dots there, and I'm not sure, so it's between 6 and 7. Let's go to the top and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is the correct one there, and I'm going to go up to halfway in between there and go over. And there's my 7. And then between 300 and 399, again, that one is just 2. Okay, something that I do, and this just helps me, is I like to write how many there are in here. Now, can I find that out from the side of the graph? Absolutely. But this helps me when I'm asking questions. For instance, I could ask the question, how many movies earned between $200 and $299 million in the box office? Well, really quickly, I could come and I can say, oh, it's 7, because I've got that number. Where else would it help me? How many movies earned over $200 million in the box office? Well, then I can just say 7 and 2. How many movies, this is another question, earned under $199 million in the box office? Once again, I can add those really quickly because I've got those numbers there. 2 plus 1 is 3. So once again, it's not a question, or it's not something you have to do. It's just something I like to do. Okay, looking at those histograms side by side, I want to kind of talk about, just for about 30 seconds, about the fact that this is the exact same data. The exact same data on the box office film was graphed on both of those, but those histograms look entirely different. So you can make a graph look entirely different just by what you count by in your intervals and what you count by over on the sides. It doesn't take much to make a graph look 100% different. The last thing we're going to talk about is let's talk about how we could answer questions from these graphs. So if we look at these, the first thing I'm going to do, because it's something I like, is I'm just going to mark how many are in each one of these. There's 62. How do I see that? Because of right over here. Okay, this one, if I come over, let's see, that is going to be 31. You need to erase those dots. They don't need to be there. Okay, this one, if I come over, it's going to be 14. And then coming over, this one is 10, and then 4, and 1. Once again, that's not something you have to do. It's just something I like to do. It makes it a little bit easier for me. So the question is, how many got A's? Well, I can look at this, and I know that an A is, and this, I guess you've got to know this also, an A is 19 out of 20. It is a 20 out of 20. And an A minus is an 18 out of 20. So if you wanted to say all A's, which I think this question is asking, then you would say there were 62. But what about if I ask the question, I'm going to change it a little bit, to how many got A minuses? Would you be able to tell from this right here how many got A minuses? And the answer is you wouldn't. So histograms have their limitations because they're not like a dot plot where each thing is listed a bit above each number. This one is where they're grouping them together. So now that I've grouped them, I don't know how many got A minuses, but if I'm talking about all A's combined, A's and A minuses, then there are 62 of them. Okay, how many got between 12 and 14.9? Well, that's right here, so there are 14 of them. Now we're going to get into the questions where you have to do a little bit more thinking. How many passed? So first you have to know, what is passing on a test? Well, a passing is a 12 or above on a test that's out of 20. So what I would come and do is I would say, okay, here's my 12. Well, that's a good place to divide. I do know that all of the scores here are passing because they are 12 to 14.9. I know all of the ones here are passing and all of the ones here are passing. So I would add 14 plus 31 plus 62, and that is going to equal 107 students that passed. How many students failed? Well, if a 12 and above is passing, then we're gonna put little sad faces here. There are 10. Then right here there were 4, and then right here there was 1. Okay, so how many students failed this test? That would be 15. And that's how you can answer questions off of your histograms. So I hope you do well on this. Bye.